everyone. Today I want to talk about competing with your partner. I found myself in different types of scenarios with Cynthia that I'm comparing how I am approaching Cynthia in a moment, or how I'm trying to accomplish something, to the way that LJ is approaching her, or how he is being, or what he's doing. And then thinking that there's only one way that's the right way. So to give an example, the one day Cynthia was crying and I was holding her and I was testing out a method to try and console her and support her, which was to just stand, breathe, embody words like stability and groundedness. And while I was busy doing that, my partner LJ came and he also started laying his hands on her and using a different way to try and help her. And now what I experienced in that moment, which seemed like a regular moment of two parents trying to help their child, but what I actually experienced was that he was pushing me out. That as soon as he came to try and help, that it meant that I had to now step back. Like having this idea and belief that there's only one person or only one parent who can have the solution, or there's only one right way to deal with a scenario and a situation, or one way to help Cynthia. And so as soon as he came in, I felt like I had to step back, because otherwise, it's just not gonna work. There's only one slot. So I was occupying that slot, but since LJ now came, I have to now step back so he can stand in that slot, in that position of supporting. And I felt myself getting quite emotional, standing there with my arms all limp and like feeling useless, immediately judging myself, thinking that I must have done something wrong, or wondering what I did wrong, and then comparing what I was doing to what LJ was doing in that moment, when I just stopped for a moment and I looked at my partner, and it's like, well, there's nothing of that going on in him. He just came and wanted to support. That's all that was happening from his perspective. He wasn't trying to take over. He wasn't judging me. He was just trying to help our kid. So in that moment, I decided to have a look at what was happening, and that's when I realized I had that belief that there's only one who can help. There's only one who has the solution. There's only one right way of doing things. Instead of understanding that LJ is one, my partner is one, and I am another one, and together we're 1 + 1. So instead of trying to compete and trying to be that one, thinking there's only one person who can be the one, to actually change that from the one to my one, and add my one to his one, so that we have a 1 + 1 accumulation effect. And when I realized that, which is quite obvious, of course, but in those moments of emotion and comparison, it's like we can get ourselves so lost for a moment that we can't see the basic, most simple points of common sense. And even in having those emotional experiences, it's not always easy to understand where it's coming from or why. So if you find yourself in a scenario like that, where you now feel like you're being pushed back because your partner is coming in with a different approach, where you immediately feel offended, taking it personally, then practice this, try that. Try and add your one to their one, so that you can together be a 1 + 1. You're both different people. And even though you're in a relationship, and so you've walked quite a path together, and in many ways also have aligned yourselves to each other, becoming more similar in how you're working with certain things, you're still two people, two individuals with your own strengths, your own perspectives, your own different ways of looking at the same point, and so might come up with different solutions. So in a moment like that, And what I also did in that moment was to actually just go back to LJ and Cynthia and continue doing what I was doing. So LJ was doing his thing, I was doing my thing, and now together we were able to support Cynthia to settle down. So that was quite a cool moment to also get that feedback from her, showing us that yes, you can just do it that way. You can just join forces, literally, and get something done that way. So this was a situation where Cynthia was unhappy. But I found myself doing this comparison in moments where she was, for instance, laughing a lot. Say LJ was being really goofy with her in a particular way, and she thought it was hilarious, and she was laughing and just having such a good time. And I'm observing this, thinking, well, I'm not like that when I'm with her. I haven't done this. Maybe I should be doing that, because look, she's really enjoying it. So why am I not doing that? Maybe I must also try and do that. And then when I try and do the same or similar thing that LJ was doing in the moment, I'm not at all getting the same feedback from her. She instead just looks at me like this. What are you doing? Huh? This is weird. So, and for me it also felt very awkward. I mean, I knew that as I was doing it, I immediately felt like, okay, this is not me. This is not my expression. I'm trying to copy Leslie John, my partner, but that's not my expression, that's his expression. But then I did look at, okay, what word was he embodying and expressing that I can also support myself to embody and express, but I might do it in a very different way. And that's when I identified the word goofy, because he was just being really goofy in his way. Blowing bubbles on her belly and making voices and barking at her, like all kinds of things that were really funny to watch him do, and that she also thought was just hilarious. But when I was doing it, she was just like, huh? What? Because it just didn't work. It was not me. It wasn't my expression. So I took the word goofy and looked at how can I live this? Like, where's my goofiness? And when I started working with that word and kind of to know it and explore it for myself, I started making up songs in moments about whatever was happening, putting jokes in there, different sounds and melodies and rhythms. And that got her really interested and laughing and just enjoying the moment with me. So that's another way in which I was now essentially competing with my partner. Again, thinking there must be one way that I can get that type of a moment with her, because that's really what I was after, to also be able to share a moment of laughter, enjoyment, and goofiness with her. But then, yeah, thinking that there must be only one way, and he's got the way, so I have to now also do it that way. And if that's not working, then apparently I must now give up on that and just make peace with the fact that I am a different type of parent, that I'm not the goofy parent, that I'm maybe just the comforting parent, and that I'm the one who feeds the baby, and that I'm the one who just does other things. Because that's also things you'll hear. Yeah, but that's the punishing parent. That's the strict parent. That's the fun parent. You know, as though you have different roles, that one of the parents will always be the one to be strict, that one parent will always be the one to comfort, when that's really not necessary. If you find yourself like creating these roles and definitions and different jobs in your relationship and with your partner, like designating who's going to do what and who's going to be what parent, then just stop for a moment and understand that yes, you do have your different qualities and you have your different strengths and weaknesses, but that doesn't mean that you have to give up on those expressions, that you have to give up on those words. Rather, identify the words that your partner is, for instance, really good at, and then see how you can live it in your own and unique way, which might be completely different. But equally is you expressing that word, and can, within your relationship with your child, also have moments like that and expressions like that. So that's my video for today. So both with the crying and thinking there's only one person or one way to support and give her the support she needs, where you can instead join forces and do 1 + 1, as well as those moments of wanting to share joy and laughter with your child, where you're trying to mimic what your partner's doing, to rather see who are you within it, who are you within that word, and how can you express it with your child. All right, thanks for watching and enjoy. Bye.